Welcome to the Wildberryworkshop. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I hope it is entertaining, informational, and maybe we can both get a little riled up along the way, because Lord knows when we talk about Game of Thrones, someone's feathers are going to be ruffled. Maybe we're all on the same page. You know, I know it's been some years since Game of Thrones has been in the public zeitgeist, but I don't know if it's just me, but I have not gotten over it. I'm still not over it. I'm still not over Daenerys Targaryen. Mother of Dragons? Right. It was incredible. I mean, one thing you can say about this show is that it was an incredible ride. I think her story, up until a certain point, just felt like exponential growth, and Emilia Clarke played her beautifully. I'd be lying if I said I didn't find her to be one of the most compelling fictional characters, and that's the reason for this video. Part of the reason. I really love Daenerys's wedding, I guess this is her wedding dress, her wedding to Khal Drogo scene. And when I saw this doll, Barbie Basics line from last year, I knew that I needed to make this come to life. I mean, look at it. Like, the hair's right, the side part's right, the density of the hair is amazing. I will give it that. Like, sometimes Barbie is a little hit or miss, depending on how much money you spent. Like, some of the playline, whatever, like, they're a little bald. I think you can watch my Arwen video to see what that looks like. But I think this doll is perfect, and I really do think that the face shape and the nose shape, like, the likeness is there. You know, for me, as somebody who, I would still consider myself someone who's starting out and, you know, is a bit of a rookie in the doll face-up space, I have to be really meticulous when I'm looking for dolls for characters, because I need the help of the face sculpt. You know, I know some people probably can like use chalk pastels to make it look super perfect, and it's like, that's not me. Like, I don't know. But anyways, so yeah, as I said, hair density is great. It's got a great length as well. And God bless the neck peg. Like, this neck peg specifically, because just being able to pull it off is incredible. Alright, I hesitate to show such a work in progress because this, I mean, obviously this isn't finished, but I hope you can kind of see where it's going. I think the eyebrows are good. I think that the unevenness and the bushiness looks pretty good. The irises are not the right color. I was just blocking them off, but I am going for purple eyes. So I'm going to seal this and then do that. I dusted the lips with some chalk pastels, and I'm gonna go in with coloring pencils afterwards. I do it exclusively with coloring pencils because I feel like I have the most amount of control with that. But yeah, this is the setup. Yeah, so this is the best I could do. For whatever reason, whenever I start a face up and I have all my materials out, as soon as I press play on the video, or record I should say, my hand starts to shake. I think I need one of those glasses that have the magnifying lenses. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I see people use them when they're carving small little delicate things. I just need it because sometimes when I'm drawing those eyes, I don't know if they're straight or if they're matching or if like it's like a fraction of a millimeter off. I don't know. But the last stage in any face up is deciding if I want to do a gloss varnish on the eyes and lips. For me, this it brings it to life. It makes the eye pop so that it goes from being flat to, okay, there's like, maybe I put a soul into this doll. She's actually looking at me with her soul. Okay, so once the varnish is on, this is what the face ends up looking like, and now I'm just excited to take this this hair tie off and just see the whole thing. Ooh, do you hear that? God, it really does sound like a Nazgul out there. Why is it that the MTA is always raising prices but doesn't know how to use W40 on the tracks? That's what you use, right? Is that what Edward used? To make Bella's window easier to open? Okay. Oh my god, no, it's crinkly. No, it's fine. Oh, she's lovely. Oh my god, she's lovely. Wait a minute. I gotta stop making that voice. So lovely. Awesome, so now the next step is just to style the hair, make an entire outfit. I'm so torn between the outfit, but you know what? I'm not torn about this neck peg because I love just being able to pop in her head. Let me do that. Oh my god. It's awesome because then you can see the doll better. I don't know how many of you watching have read the books, but Daenerys' wedding scene is basically where I drop off emotionally and literally. I have read past it a little bit, but at that point, like, my mind is just, I don't know. I do understand that the books offer more depth and character development, but it was hard for me. For those of you who don't know, Daenerys was 13 years old when she was basically sold to the much older Khal Drogo. The best thing the show did was age everyone up, because that would have been a rough watch, to say the least. Still, this is where I give Emilia Clarke her flowers. I think Daenerys' innocence was still very prominent, especially in the beginning. She's shielded from the cruelty of the world, at least the majority of it. And so the wedding scene is the last time we get to see her in her childhood before that gets taken away from her. And that's really what I wanted to capture with her face. I wanted her face to show that hesitation, the almost sadness that she has in her expression. As the show goes on, we see more facets of this character that builds the more she has to go through. Again, spoiler alert, you've been warned, whatever. After the death of Khal Drogo and the birth of her dragons, we see her grow into this woman of immense power. And there's a lot of nuance in there. Overall, like, George R. R. Martin writes morally great characters, but there was just something about Daenerys that made it so I wanted her to win. And herein lies the reason I believe that no ending would have been sufficient, personally speaking. Alright, so before I get on my soapbox, let me just explain what you just saw. So I made the box, I don't know, what do you call it, the crate that the eggs came in. I just got a little container from Michael's, used some stain on it, and then for the eggs, I just made them out of polymer clay, sculpted, and used like a little tool to make those little designs. And when I showed them to my niece, she said they look like little strawberries, so there you go. Anyways, I, like so many people, I was not happy with the ending. Many a think piece have been written about this exact topic, covering what went wrong and how it should have ended. Probably better informed than anything I can provide. But if you were to ask me, I'd say where he went wrong was in the premise to begin with. This is a story told about oppression from the perspective of the oppressor. The fundamental thesis of the story is that the cycle of power, that rise and fall of whatever house comes into power, all of it needed to be broken. As a matter of fact, in season 5, episode 8, Daenerys tells Tyrion, Lannister, Baratheon, Stark, Tyrell, they're all just spokes on a wheel. This one's on top, then that one's on top, and on it spins, crushing those on the ground. I'm not going to stop the wheel, I'm going to break it. End quote. Okay, how can you break the wheel by existing within it? It doesn't work. Repeatedly we see Daenerys, mother of dragons, breaker of chains, break a wheel and then put herself on top of it. Can I blame her? No. This is the only world she's ever known. So if Daenerys were to sit on the Iron Throne, nothing would have changed. Perhaps she would have been a just ruler, a better ruler than the ones who came before. But who's to say that the person who comes next would have been just and honest? The issue with supreme power being held by a monarchy is that the common folk are subject to the luck of the draw and virtually have no power to oppose this. To my knowledge, a commoner in this world has never usurped the throne, right? So, even if a ruling house gets overthrown, it would have been most likely from someone from power with the means to do so, indicating that they're from another powerful house. Thus, the wheel keeps spinning and those on the ground get crushed. And yet, I was still rooting for her. And that's the conundrum. While I understand the thesis, I'm being told a story from the perspective of the ruling class, and therefore they become the main characters of the story, the protagonist. Daenerys Targaryen is my protagonist. To be honest, from this perspective, the common folk are shown as fickle and one-dimensional. So how am I supposed to root for them? Which is like a crazy thought, because if we're taking fiction and applying it to our lives, I'm the common folk. We're the common folk. I should have more in common with the citizens of King's Landing, and yet I don't feel like I do. You see, a story that centers the plight of commoners without showing them in their full capacity is inherently flawed, in my opinion. In fiction, I think there are two common paths. Now, I'll take this with a grain of salt. Like, I'm not an expert, but this is my observation. The first path is an idealized depiction of humanity. It's something we can look up to. Think about superhero movies, or movies and stories about just and honest kings. The second path is one that revels in the morally gray, because somehow that feels more real. That humans at their core are subject to corruption and are complicated, save for a few that exist as beacons of nobility, or I should say honor. Between these two different paths, I don't know which version I prefer. On the one hand, I deeply appreciate morally gray characters and storytelling. It's complex and compelling, and yet I find so much refreshment in an idealized version of reality. One where I can believe that goodness trumps the typical selfish indulgences that we normally see in humanity. I like to believe in the good, I don't know, whatever. It's probably the reason a character like Aragorn from The Lord of the Rings is a fan favorite. He always does the right thing, and it feels comforting. There's something deeply comforting about a character that has power and is also, at their core, just good. Even Xavier from Paradise acts like this, and it feels good. It fills you up. I think that it's like hope core, right? And that feels good. And you know what? I think I just wanted that for Daenerys. I think I'm just a sap who likes happy endings, and I just wanted a happy ending for her. And if not for her, for Jon Snow. But that's a whole different topic, and I'm not gonna get into it. But if I do end up making a video about Jon Snow, I have to bring in my sister because she has a lot of thoughts. God, I don't even know how to end a video like this. Like, there's just so much to say. I think overall, I love the story. I don't know if I could have told a different story, because it makes sense why you would center the narrative of the people that have the power to make the change. But it makes it hard to root for them in the end, because I guess in my heart I just wanted another monarchy. But anyways, that's a lot. I haven't even thought about that. This hairstyle turned out nice, I think. It wasn't as hard to do. I think if I were to make one of her later hairstyles, that would be very tricky with all of the braids, but I do like how this one came out. Maybe one day I'll make a Khal Drogo or Jon Snow doll, and I can tell you how I would have ended the show or whatever, but until then, I hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much for sticking around. I'm really happy with how the doll turned out, and especially with how these photos turned out. But let me know what you think, and if you like this style of video, feel free to subscribe, follow me on all my other socials, and thank you. Bye!